From cemeteries to clown makeup, the Paralives team just showed off some pretty interesting items for the game. But this Patreon post actually made me both excited for the game and also wishing some of this was official gameplay. Now, as I've expressed many times before, I think it's most important that Paralives has a strong foundation and additional features can come later. Now, the first image we get, of course, are a set of grays, and also we get a little jack-o'-lantern and even a skeleton. Now, we have seen jack-o'-lanterns in previous previews, but it's been a while. And what I really like about here is both the lighting and also the variety. We definitely see a variety of different types of gravestones, and in the past, they even showed us the ability to edit text on gravestones. Regardless, I think this showcases the ambiance, and I personally think this has improved greatly over Paralives development. And of course, I do want to have actual cemeteries and graveyards to remember lost paras. Now, moving away from that more somber tone, we're actually going to be looking at a Halloween party. In this Halloween party screenshot, I actually think this looks really fun. I'm pretty sure we have already seen that cow before, but I don't actually remember the cow costume. And overall, the decorations I'm really loving. I actually really love autumn and Halloween in general, so I'm gonna get excited about these kind of assets. And yes, they are just cute assets, and I know it's not for everyone, but I love the level of detail and attention in this one screenshot alone. That's hanging across the wall, especially. We've got a witch hat, and I do also like even the look of the cozy furniture. But let me know in the comments below if you have a favorite item from this screenshot, because of this entire preview, I think this is definitely my favorite. And I am curious to learn more about maybe throwing parties and events in this game. I don't need it to be anything that's super orchestrated, but it would be fun to just be able to do even just free-form parties. Now, I will say, I'm not one of those people that is inherently scared of clowns, which I totally understand if you are. However, I've never really liked them either, so I'm kind of in between on this. This is a little bit terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. However, I actually love that Paralives is adding some of these kind of quirky and strange items too. They actually did a previous showcase with a bunch of unique items, and some people are like, I would never use that. And I get it, but I think as long as it's not cluttering up the catalog, I think these are good additions. I like to have a little bit of humor and strangeness in my game too, but it is clear they probably had a lot of fun making this, and I think that the details are pretty well done. And fear not, if you really don't like the clown costume, there's this instead. We get a nice little mushroom hat, and I think this is just really cute. We also see some skin makeup details too. And yes, again, this isn't something I would use every single day in the game, but I just appreciate these unique items. Now, I do believe the actual outfit this Para is wearing is something we have seen before in different iterations, but I still really like it, and I love how it always looks a little bit different because, of course, you do have the color wheel to play with. It also does appear this Para is wearing a pearl necklace, some glasses, and also a bracelet. Something I think that's really clever about how they do these showcases is they show us several things at once, and they really show how it's all coming together. I also quite like the hair on this Para as well, so overall, again, really like the presentation here and just a lot of fun. Now, I will say I want to look back because I think they did mention in a dev chat before about brownies and what kind of clothes they would wear. Don't know for sure, so I had to do some research, but I was just imagining a bunch of Paras just walking around in these cow costumes. Hopefully there's some kind of controls for that. Some nice really little details here. You get the tail in the back and of course the udder in the front. Not something I'm going to be using very often, but if you did have a costume party, perfect for that. Now, at the beginning of the video, I did mention that some of these items may be long for other gameplay, and this would be the main one right here. You see, this is a Para dressed up as a vampire. They did emphasize that vampires are not a thing right now in Paralives, so that is important to keep in mind. I think I might have gone for a slightly different material for the jacket, but I do like the makeup, and overall, it made me think about having supernaturals in Paralives. Now, I don't really consider myself an occult player or a realistic player. I actually kind of like a blend of both, which I guess makes sense because in fiction, I actually really love things like magical realism. Previously, the team has discussed the possibility of adding some occults later into Paralives development, such as in the form of a DLC. However, since then, they did announce they were not going to have any paid DLCs, so potentially it could be an update. I'm not really sure. So let me know what your opinion of that is in the comments below. Overall, I think it's good they probably don't start with with them and they just make sure they make a really good game, as good as they can make, and then maybe add them later on. I actually take back what I said about clowns because I think this is actually more terrifying than clowns. This is a tight bodysuit. I can't decide which color is more frightening, but definitely is a very interesting look and not something I expected to see. We also have some closer looks of that room we saw earlier, and we get to see some of the decor once again. I think the clutter is absolutely excellent in this game, and honestly, I'm not a builder, so it's not like I'm paying close attention, as you know, to every single detail whatsoever, but just little touches really make a difference. I love that pillow that's kind of got that Halloween swatch to it, and I actually even like the little texture details on that chair. Overall, honestly makes me really excited for decorating for the autumn season in this game. We also get floating candles and an interesting side table. There's also a cat pillow right here next to the pumpkin, and that makes me think I really want to see some pets in this game sometime too. Not to be too pushy, but we do know there's going to be cats, dogs, and apparently horses in the base game, so I definitely am keen to see those, and it kind of piques my curiosity as to what they are going to look like. Finishing up on just a few more screenshots here, we get to see a new set of tombstones and crows as well. Now, the crows are purely decorative at the moment. So, do I want crows that are functional, quote unquote, or just fly around the world? That could be kind of interesting. It's not really a must, but what I really do appreciate is they're completely transparent and say, hey, the crows are just decorative right now, and also we don't have vampires in the game. It's good to just make that clear right away. They also have an addition of a huge spider, and it might be hard for you to see. Honestly, it's quite dark and it's pretty small, but it is right here, and they even have spider webs in the background. Again, aesthetic, not functioning. There's not going to be a massive spider coming to attack you, but some interesting touches indeed. Overall, I can't really find a way to be super critical about this showcase. Honestly, I mostly love the aesthetics of this showcase. Again, I think the lighting is excellent. We get to see some vegetation and also a room in full. I'm curious about parties. I'm curious if we're going to get any showcase of pets. I'm also curious, of course, way further down the road, potentially for supernatural elements. Again, it's not a must for this game, but this did get me curious. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? I would say this screenshot is my favorite right here, just because it's a good showcase of everything we just saw. I also love to see Paras again just interacting and having fun, even if it is just a screenshot. I do look forward to covering Paralives more. I know I've been a little bit inconsistent lately. Life has been a little bit rough, but I always get joy out of covering Paralives. I just think it's really interesting to see this game develop. Please take care, and I'll see you in the next one.